For almost 5 decades, family planning services have been available in the country. Ghana was the first country in the sub-Saharan Africa to sign the World Leaders Declaration on Population in 1967 that called for attention on population issues. In 1969, the country issued a general paper dubbed Population Planning for National Progress and Prosperity. It called for the inclusion of family planning services in the population control agenda. Hence, the formation of the Planned Parenthood Association that same year. Ghana's population policy was first reviewed in 1994 and then in 2003 when the population rate was 2.7%. Over the years, there have been consistent calls to control birth to enable the government to accelerate the pace of economic development. The experts tell us that birth control measures are directly linked to achieving population control. Yet, contraceptive prevalence is still very low. In a country where the fertility rate is relatively high, the executive director of the National Population Council, Madam Letitia Apia, is concerned.
What we have done very well as a nation is to reduce mortality rate. But then unfortunately, fertility rate still remains high. So then there is that bulge, there's the momentum, you get it. Nature was such that high mortality, high fertility, so it was leveling out. But now we have low mortality and still high fertility. So our success is somehow hurting us.
The intrauterine device, male and female condom, implants, the pill, injectables and natural methods such as abstinence are some of the types of contraceptives. There are also emergency contraceptive pills which can be taken immediately after unprotected sex. Dr. Robert Mensah is a reproductive health specialist with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA. The UNFPA is the second biggest supplier of contraceptives to Ghana.
Currently, our contraceptive prevalence rate is even below 30%, which means that we don't have a lot of people using contraceptives the way they should use. Even for modern methods, it's quite lower. So we need to be more conscious as a country and as individuals to try and get contraceptives pushed a lot for the success of programming.
According to a report by UNFPA, current use of any method of family planning is highest among women in the Volta region at 32% and lowest among women in the northern region at 11%. Dr. Mensah holds the view that family planning is not only about population control.
The sociocultural environment, especially traditional beliefs of people, some of them probably religious, link up and make the people think that children are from God, and therefore the desire to use contraceptive not as a control measure but as a regulatory measure is not there. But for the sake of the woman, for biological reasons, she needs to space the children appropriately so that they can grow well. For the health of the woman who bleeds during menses and also bleeds during delivery, if she doesn't have a period of rest, she cannot sustain her blood levels and can die from anemia.
Partners in the reproductive health delivery system in the country believe that not using contraceptives more often than not results in unplanned pregnancies and unsafe abortions.
When you look at our data, Demographic and Health Service the report 2014, for instance, 17% of the births are unwanted. And when you look at our contraceptive prevalence, that is those who are sexually active, needing contraceptive and not using, just 22% of them are using. So there's a high unmet need for family planning. And for me, immediately a pregnancy ends in an abortion, well, we have spontaneous, that the woman wouldn't have done anything to, but something that the abortion that the woman tried to terminate. For me, it speaks volumes. It means that the woman would have loved contraceptive.
Many women shy away from contraceptives because of the myth surrounding its use.
The levels of hormones in contraceptives now cannot be the reason why, for instance, women will get breast cancer. But maybe several years ago, because of the levels there and the high levels of hormones, they can stimulate some breasts and you can get diseases in it. People still carry that mentality. And those carrying that mentality spread those rumors. And you know, false things spread faster than truth. Perception rather is that when you take contraceptives, you get cancer, you get this, you get that, and people keep on saying it. But there's no scientific basis for that.
Ghana has over the years depended on donor agencies to supply contraceptives. So, stakeholders in reproductive health have called on the government to invest in family planning methods.
Well, you can't just call on government. You have to bring evidence. There are enough evidence in the country to indicate that doing family planning as effective as we expect it to be is enough business for government to recoup lost money. All over the world, there's evidence that when the government puts in $1, they reap for.
Population is still growing rapidly, fertility is high, and contraceptive use is low. Partners are therefore calling for attractive awareness creation about the benefits of contraceptives. Winifred Afum, GBC 24, Accra.